life is good. And mommy shows up.
Yeah.
Mommy shows up and says, hey, Jewel, take care of me, right? I would imagine.
I'll be your manager. Yeah.
Oh,
great.
momager.
Yeah.
No kidding. And what do you say to her? Is that when the anger finally explodes and you
No,
go,
I
are
was
you
happy.
fucking kidding me?
You were happy.
Yeah.
You were happy that
You want a mom.
You do, right?
You do.
You
You
always
want a
want a mom.
You do.
Long story short, I woke up at 34 and realized all the money was gone.
Oh, no.
And I was like $3 million in debt. And it was
Oh, no.
really not good.
How much did she steal?
My accountants think that it was probably somewhere at least north of 100 million, but I don't really know for sure. Yeah.
Your mom stole.
It was sad. It's sad to feel like you bury a parent while they're still alive. You know, the grief of that and grieving that I never did have a mom. So I had to grieve that. And then I had to grieve the fact that I was tricked and the version of a mom I thought I had wasn't real either. That was a double head trip.
Oh, your mom sounds like a total sociopath. She steals and does it for all these years and then vanishes. And then you pay her off. Like, you have to give her money on top of it. You have to give her $500,000 to tell her to fuck off. And then she still keeps that house and doesn't sell it.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so insane. The fact that you've come out of it like very friendly. Very like you're like really positive and happy. It's like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, that is almost more of an accomplishment.
God, how I loved that woman with my whole heart and being, and it almost killed me. And still there is such a sad and tender girl in me who tears up, thinking back on this same image. I would always be a child. I would always love my mom. Some mommies don't love their baby. I can't tell you the tears I've cried to see who my mom really is. I can't tell you about the pain and how my heart to this day screams to have a mom in my life. But I know that it is not safe with her. Every day I miss having a mom, but I don't miss Nedra. I will always want a mom, the concept of what a mom is, but I don't have that. I never did, no matter how hard I tried to fool myself. Nedra is not that. Reality wins, and I'd rather see the truth than stay in love with a fantasy. The truth was, I could never make my mom love me or be tender toward me without giving her something in return. No amount of wishful thinking or good deed or compliance would change that. I had tried for years not to see that truth and to will a different reality. It was a myth, and I had to face that now.
This is my heart bleeding for you. This is me down on my knees. These foolish games are tearing me apart. Your thoughtless words are breaking my heart.
Speak of your loved ones as I clumsily strum my guitar.
Excuse me, guess I've mistaken you for somebody else. Somebody who gave it down, somebody more like myself. And these foolish games are tearing me, you're tearing me, you're tearing me apart.
breaking my heart.
You took your coat off and stood in the rain.
You're always crazy.
Who will save your soul when it comes to the baby? Here, will save your soul. Those lies that you told, boy. And who will save your soul if you won't sing your own?
And what do you remember of the experience of your mum leaving? Was that traumatic at the time, or was it just, well, okay, I guess that's what mums do then?
It was traumatizing. And that ended up sort of creating this chain of events in my life where I really wanted her in my life. I wanted her love. And it ended up costing me a lot later. She was my manager, and yeah, I don't think things were quite what I thought they were. It took me a long time to come and see the truth, and it was a pretty heartbreaking realization. I think the biggest betrayal for me was really on a personal level. Yeah, in hindsight, probably wasn't my best choice as a manager. But again, that relationship was really intense, and having her come back in my life meant a lot to me, and I needed it. And I think that need for love is really what blinded me to seeing the truth about a lot of things.
Yeah. Was that emotional tug, I guess, was it your heart winning out of your head?
Yes, definitely. When I look back at my life, I think the times that I did the worst in my life, where I was suffering the worst, are the times that I was willing to kid myself the most. When you're not wanting to see the truth because your need for love is so great.
I kind of went from trauma to trauma to trauma. I experienced a lot of abuse as a child. The trauma of moving out as a 15-year-old is incredibly anxiety-ridden. Getting yourself through school, trying to pay your bills and get food while you're in high school and work jobs while you're in high school, and then just, I can't even tell you.
Because I'd been singing with my dad since I was 5. And then in bars since I was 8, but I only sang backup. I sang harmony. I didn't sing my own songs, certainly.
In bars, you learn to read people, and my dad wasn't watching out for me. So I was a young child in bars with pedophiles and drunks and,
Right.
all kinds of dark figures. And I learned to take care of myself. I learned to read people. I learned to really trust my instincts. And there's definitely times where I've pulled knives on people when I was hitchhiking.
And then when my mom left, my dad and I became a duet. And it just turned into bars. So I was bar singing from a really young age. And I would have guys put dimes in my hand, and they would fold my fingers around the dime, and they'd go, "Call me when you're 16. You're going to be great to fuck when you're older."
Oh, Jesus.
And so I
They
just
said that to you when you were
learned.
8?
Yeah, 9, 10, right
Oh,
in
at
there.
least they waited till you're 9.
Yeah, that was nice. It was awful. I'd come out of a bathroom, and I remember this guy measuring my esophagus. It was really aggressive and a little scary. He did it lightly, but it's a scary thing, right? And he looked at me and he measured his fingers, the distance between his fingers. "Have you been cheating on me?" I'm still not sure what that means. Maybe it's like a blowjob joke. I don't quite know, but I just knew it was sexual and it was aggressive and it was scary. It was just, So that's just what I was raised around. My mom and dad got divorced when I was 8, and we went to live with my dad. Nobody told me it's because my mom didn't want to be a mom. She left us, and so my dad took over raising us. So I didn't know that at the time. So my mom left, and I really missed her. My teddy bear's name was my mom's name, Nedra, so that I could hug my mom at night. I was very sad.
You didn't have a conversation with her?
I was young. I was 8, and we're living with our dad, and I really missed her. And Anchorage is probably 250 miles from Homer. But there's this thing in Homer called a ride line, and it's where you can get on the radio and say, "Looking for a ride to Anchorage, we'll split gas," or things like that. And then people, you're like, "Leave a message at the radio station." And so you'd call the radio station and say, "Has anybody offered to give me a ride?" And so I would do that to get up to see my mom. But I don't think I always told her about it. I think I just often showed up, on her doorstep. So I would get a ride with a stranger 250 miles to go see my mom.
And you were a little kid.
Yeah, I was a little kid. And my mom was amazing. She was really spiritual, really calm. My dad was volatile, drunk. My dad and I are really good friends now, by the way, which deserves saying. And I can talk about him too. But she was just everything my dad wasn't. She was really creative. She was an artist. She was a visual artist. And she was like heaven to me. It just felt like heaven. It's your mom. And so she would say things like, your brain is really powerful. We barely use all of our brain. In fact, everything's related, and we can affect things with our mind. And if you look at that light bulb long enough and really focus, you can get it to dim. Why don't you try that? And I'll be back. So I think I was babysat.
By a light bulb?
By a light bulb.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You would turn as a fucking 9-year-old staring at a fire. Oh my God.
So I move out. I remember too, like one time driving in the car and I was sad because Dad had hit me and she was like, "You'll never break." She goes, "You're unbreakable. There's a steel rod in you." And it made me feel good. And looking back, I'm like, who says that to a kid whose dad's hitting them? Like, why not say, "I'll take you. You'll never go back to him again." Like,
Right.
It's just so weird. But instead, I just felt so proud that she thought I had a metal rod in me and I wouldn't break. Like, this is so weird.
Holy shit.
It was like seeing a mask ripped off. And she's like, "I'll give you the fucking house." And I was like, I could end up dead.
Like she could kill you.
It worried me.
Holy shit. So now
And
you're
I was
thinking your
like-
mom might kill you.